when we went back and forth yesterday about the expectation of the Yankees, I said, listen, I don't want to hear any more about the old Yankees and the aura, and you got to hit 390,000 home runs in a season. This Yankee team is better equipped to win when it matters, and yesterday was the first example of it, my man. First example. First example, Sal. I'm pumped.
Here we go.
I told you this was going to happen. They were going to look different.
Oh, yeah, they looked real different in the beginning of that game, where, by the way, you went radio silent, and then we heard from you after the fact.
Yes, that's correct.
We'll get into that in a little bit, but the fact that the Yankees were able to come back against that team in that fashion was a great win on opening day. But that's all. And if you want to look at the positives, obviously there are plenty of them. The way that the Yankees did appear to be savages in the box as far as working the counts, working the pitcher. I think the Astros left Valdez in there a little bit too long. But the ability to come back from down 4-0, Cortez stabilizing, bullpen preventing the Astros from tacking on. Clay Holmes a little shaky. I don't trust him. Again, it's one game. Stanton didn't look very good. Again, one game. Maybe he's not going to be there the bulk of it. But the fact that Juan Soto had his impact and presence felt right away, and you knew the game was going to change when Soto came up with the bases loaded, because that's the guy you want.
Had to get a hit. Had to get it.
Well, but he's not going to roll into a 5-4-3. He's not the double play man like everybody else on the team. Soto's going to get the job done, and he did, and got things moving. And Volpe, your boy, looked terrific. There were a lot of great signs from the Yankees yesterday. However, there also were some not so great signs that would make you think, remember, the standards here, whether you want to admit it or not, especially after yesterday, it is World Series. So they are held to a higher standard. This is a World Series team. They won without Garrett Cole yesterday. They beat the Astros in Houston on opening day.
Beat their ace.
Beat their ace. Well, they don't have Verlander.
Well, that did,
But still, Valdez, yeah. But they beat one of their best guys, if not their best guy, in their ballpark after being down 4-0.
Also got to their best relief pitcher, Presley.
Without, and by the way, Hader looked pretty good.
The Hader looked absolutely filthy.
How would he look in a Yankee uniform? But they did all that without Garrett Cole. So it is possible, and they did it without even a fully healthy lineup. Cabrera contributing right away.
Couple of hits.
Without DJ LeMahieu, Cabrera hitting the game-tying home run. There are signs there that you saw. It's one game, microcosm, long way to go here. But there are signs to give you hope that this team can be competing for the World Series. But that's what it should be about, BT. None of this playoff nonsense. World Series for the Yankees.
Well, one of the things that, obviously they had great players. Some Hall of Famers, Jeter and Mo, borderline Hall of Famers, and guys like, Bernie and O'Neill, not even really a fringe Hall of Famer, but Paul was really good. Tino, we know the names, right? What I loved about those teams, even Boggs early on, Mattingly before he retired in the wild card year of 95. The Yankees, when they were just starting their ascent, they would dig in, and you would have to empty the holster to get them out. They just battled so much. And Sal, you obviously feel that during the game. Then I just wanted to go back and look at the numbers to support it. Do you know that Yankee pitchers, listen to this discrepancy. And by the way, I don't think this is going to be an outlier. And this is not against the Marlins or against the pathetic Colorado Rockies or the Oakland A's who have AAA arms everywhere. The Yankees threw, in totality, 123 pitches. The Astros threw 171. Well, all right, we'll contextualize that. Well, and you saw me doing this. It took a little bit of time. I went through every box score this morning. Only two teams yesterday, because there were two rainouts, obviously one of which was the Mets. We'll get to the Mets later. Marlins threw 213 pitches, and they stink. The Angels threw 180, and they stink. So, again, I'm not saying that the Yankees will force teams to throw almost 180 pitches every night, but when you have a discerning eye, that doesn't fluctuate. Yeah, if you're a power guy, you're going to go through droughts and not hit home runs. Yeah, if you're a high average guy, like a Rise went 0 for 5, 0 for 6 yesterday. You're going to have those collar days where you just don't get any knocks. If you know and are able to differentiate between a ball and a strike, you make your life so much easier. And the Yankees finally set themselves up to be a team that is just different, and it's transferable to October is what I'm saying. I love what I saw. The energy, and I told you about this. Like, one of the things that I loved about when they got Soto and they got Stroman and they got Verdugo, they're just bringing a different energy. I used the word drip, juice, whatever, mojo, whatever you want to use that projects that outward energy that we all know when it's there, and maybe more importantly when it's not. Did you see Soto, banging it up with Judge after with the replay, and Verdugo getting a little loose? Like, there's there's something here that's been lacking. I know it's one game, but I loved what I saw.
Well, the reason why I think it works better in the lineup, and that's the most encouraging thing from me yesterday. Forget about even the comeback or the win. It was nice to see Cortez settle down. I think that was important too. But the fact that the Yankees are going to be savages in the box for the most part, that's why Soto fits better than, say, Stanton. After 2017, they went and got Giancarlo Stanton, who's redundant and obviously has gone down since.
Yeah.
Soto's different. He's an animal in there. You know he's going to give you a great at-bat, and having him on in front of Judge or up in front of Judge, there's no wiggle room there. There's no way out. If the guys at the bottom of the order do what they did yesterday for the most part, Cabrera doing his job, Verdugo being a tough out, Trevino or Wells when he's in there, setting things up to where the pitchers have no escape, and you're in big trouble when you get back around to the top of the order. So that's the most encouraging thing. Discouraging would be Giancarlo Stanton. I think he's
you know how I feel about him.
Rolling everything over, like just not good swings at all. Now, could he hit some missiles still? Sure.
He'll run into some.
You can't have him hitting cleanup. And the biggest probably area of concern for me would be Clay Holmes. He got bailed out by some good defense.
He did. A couple of hard hit balls for sure.
Now we're talking about a team that's trying to go win a World Series. I don't feel comfortable with Clay Holmes closing out big games. But again, for one day. Now, look, you're also going to see a different team today with Carlos Rodon on the mound. Now it's a different issue here where you look ahead to tonight. You got Rodon. Can he now back it up? Can the Yankees make it stick? Can he go out there and have an encouraging performance? They got the great comeback win in Game 1. Now all eyes are going to be on Carlos Rodon for Game 2 to see how he starts his second season in the Bronx.
All right, 877-337-6666. BT and Sound on the Fan inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guarantee lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Listen, we won't do 161 of these or 162 of these reviews here, but it's opening day, so you dive a little deeper into the weeds. Met fans, you're heading out to Queens. You know that we're obviously going to get into that. We're going to carry, Steve Cohen's going to speak a little later. We'll carry his stuff, and Stearns will speak, I believe, before that. We'll monitor that. Anything interesting is said. But, listen, from a Yankee perspective, as we get these phones humming here, it's the Astros, which always means a little bit more. And listen, you almost prefer to win that way than win 8-1, where everything goes right. A couple of 3-run bombs, the resilience down 4-zip, multiple contributions, aesthetically, all around, emotionally, just a great win.
We wouldn't be talking about it if it were the other way around, the way that we are right now.
Yeah.
It was because of the way that they got down. It was looking, in the beginning, it's like, oh my God, this is worst case scenario. They're getting guys on again. They're hitting into double plays. Nobody's being clutch. Cortez getting lit up. Yankees are in big trouble. They stabilized. They came back. Had a historic comeback win for them. I think the biggest one on opening day since 1950. So that was not just a win on opening day, home for the Yanks. And against that team in that ballpark, that was as good a win as you could have to start the season.
Could be a tone setter, which is what gets me
pumped. A lot
pumped.
of times that happens, man. Yeah. People, they ignored, it's early on, it's one game. It could be a tone setter. Even for the negative, where like Clay Holmes, that could be a tone setter as well. You just don't know. Rodon, first start, one start, could be a tone setter for the season.
All right, listen, I got you. All right, let's get to you guys here. Chris up in the Bronx, BT and Sound on this Friday. Yankees get the first dub of the season. Do we have an issue with the phones? Chris, what's going on, buddy? There we go. Chris, what's cooking?
Good morning. Good morning, man. I really appreciate you guys getting me on. Real quick, it's my birthday, so it's got me on. But
happy birthday, Chris. Chris, happy birthday, dude. Slow down, man. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Sorry, excited trying to get it all in. All right, so amazing Yankee win yesterday. What I got out of it was nice to see that almost every acquisition that we got this off season contributed, and it was nice to see. Like Sal said, early in the game, bases loaded, hitting into double plays. It was almost, you got this little feeling like, damn, again. But then the new guys came up, Verdugo, Soto. It was amazing win for the Yankees. That's all I had to say. But yeah, thank you.
You
guys.
pumped up?
Listen,
Chris, and you should enjoy it. Revel. I mean, listen, I said to Sal yesterday, I kind of liken, and amazingly, yesterday's profile fit this. Doesn't mean it'll fit it every night, but I just sense it's going to be like a boxing match, and not even round to round. Like the way the Yankees are set up right now, it's really more jab to jab and duck to duck, or counter to counter. Because the pitching is going to give up some crooked numbers. Without Garrett Cole at the top of that rotation, obviously putting up zeros, which then obviously allows the bullpen to rest and get ready for the guys who probably won't go as deep as Garrett Cole historically does. Like, there's going to be a lot of nights, 6-5, 7-6, 8-7, comebacks. And one thing, I'm going to give you this, Sal. I like Clay Holmes more than you. Don't love him. Don't love him. I've never loved him.
He's
I've
fine.
liked him. See, he's fine.
But not for a team that's going to try to get through the gauntlet of the postseason in the AL and get to a World Series.
Maybe. The thing that worries me about him is that, he's got that real power slider that just and I was trying to explain it to Colt yesterday, like when you throw a hard slider, even though it's 199, if it starts too low, I mean, you got to be perfectly precise where it's almost middle of the zone and dives down where it still catches the bottom of the zone. If it's the lower third to start and then it dives down, now you're hitting worms and now you're 2-0, 3-0, 3-1. You fall behind and then eventually you got to put one on a tee. So he worries me a little bit, but boy, that was a fun game. Anthony's in Newark, BT and Sal. Ant, what's happening, buddy?
BT, Sal, what's up, gentlemen?
What's up, Ant?
First of all, you just kind of stole my thunder. You can't win a championship with Clay Holmes as your closer. That's number one. Without a doubt, that will not happen. And then to you, Sal, you're just so predictable. World Series or bust. I haven't been in a World Series since 2009. Blah, 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 blah. I'm 54 years old. I've seen them win 7 World Championships.
Oh, hold on. I don't know. Are you talking about yesterday's show or today? I'm confused with what you're saying.
I'm just like a constant. Not today. Yesterday, it's constant.
Well, wait a second. 2009.
Yeah, I noticed you never say last won the World Series 2009. You never say that.
They did. Well, they last were in one. Anthony, I'm confused as to your point. I just for 10 minutes I started here praising the Yankees, and you have an issue. I think this is a you problem, not a me problem.
No, I have no problem at all, actually.
Okay, so then what's your issue with me? Were you listening to what we just said? What did I say about the Yankees that was bad?
The first thing you said after BT started, you said, yes, but it's World Series or bust.
It is.
First thing you said.
It is.
You don't speak for Yankee fans.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm speaking for everybody. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Get lost. Bye-bye. Get lost. I'm not doing this all day. I'm not doing this. I've had enough of this stuff.
Already?
Yeah, I've had enough of it. So then if it's not about the World Series, then congratulations on winning opening day. You did it. Mission accomplished. Juan Soto, one game. That's it. Rest doesn't really matter because it's not about the World Series. I mean, what are we doing here?
Well, this is from yesterday's show. To be fair to Sal, I think you've been very fair to the Yankees today. We just fundamentally disagree on how I like the terminology or however you want to process the way this season is supposed to feel or the stakes. Like, if you missed yesterday's show, I said I don't care. I don't care. I understand when people say it's the Yankees, the payroll.
It's
you
not
got
just
Soto.
about that. It's about where they're at this
that.
year.
Understood.
You were excited yesterday, like every other Yankee fan, rightfully so, watching that game because you're hoping the potential is this team can win the World Series.
Sure.
They're built to win the World Series. That's what it's about. Stop being soft. Stop being the P word. And you know what I'm talking about. Stop. This is New York. This is the Yankees. Raise your expectations. What are you scared of? You got the 2 best players in the sport. You just won an incredible game against the Astros in Houston. You're soft. I'm right. The expectation should be through the roof. It's not to set the Yankees up to fail, but reality is they are a team that should be competing to win the World Series. It may not happen. I don't think it's going to, but that doesn't matter. That's the goal for this team. You should be happy. You're fortunate that you have a team, unlike Met fans, that actually can win the World Series this year. Why are you running from that? Why are you scared to hear me say that? Real Yankee fans feel the same way I do. It's a World Series team. Go win the World Series. Stop with the second layer. Oh, no, if we don't win, it's okay. Yeah, we'll see how it happens at the end of this.
Yeah.
This team is great. They could win the World Series.
Well, they're not great. They're not great. I mean,
they're the 2 best players in the sport.
Okay, their pitching staff might. I mean, let's tap the brakes here. I mean, Nestor Cortez started and got rocked.
I don't want to be the negative
Carlos
one today.
Rodon is pitching
God forbid you say something negative. The Yankee fans, Sal, you're so mean to the Yankees. Get over it. Grow a sack and watch this team and have the highest expectations.
Yeah, but
I'm sick of it.
It's not about, oh my God. It's not about growing a sack. It's not about being tough. It's about being smart.
Right.
And it's about looking at what's in front of you. And no matter how loud we rant and rave,
right,
it's not going to change how certain people feel. Cortez started yesterday. He's had one good year in his life,
Right.
and he's been injury prone. Rodon's pitching tonight on Apple, so hopefully you have it. Otherwise, you can't see it. And he was an absolute disgrace last year. Garrett Cole, clerical work, is on the 60-day DL. Marcus Stroman, who was in the middle of the rotation, who I like and I'm looking forward to pitch, was awful, statistically awful in the second half last year. Clark Schmidt, who I also have some confidence in, is a kid who's done nothing until proven otherwise. The World Series or bust mantra sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous.
And to me, it sounds ridiculous that a Yankee fan wouldn't have those expectations. I can't even comprehend it.
Let me ask you this, Sal.
Let me
ask you this, Sal.
Come
on. Listen, let me ask you. So, if the Rangers, let me incorporate them for a moment. The Rangers have a good goalie,
right?
A good team, and they're going to win the President's Cup in all probability, right? We know the history with that. That might not be a good thing, but they're probably going to do it. If the Rangers were more of a high octane, putting 5-6 goals up a night in that neighborhood. I know that's not really realistic, but you know what I mean. And they couldn't stop anybody, and their goalie was trash, and he was mid, he was C-minus. Are we sitting here saying, Ranger fans, it's cup or bust?
Yeah, I'm saying
well,
it right
then
now.
you sound like a raving lunatic.
I'm saying it right.
You can't win a but
if the Rangers don't win the Stanley Cup this year, it is a failure. It is a major disappointment.
I got that, but you're missing the point because Shesterkin's not mid. He's not C-level. They have a chance to win because he's good and they're well-rounded. To sit here and say that the Yankees have to win the World, can we see if Garrett Cole comes back? Can we see if Garrett Cole fires one meaningful pitch this year?
But then I'm confused. What are the expectations?
The expectations are, I told you yesterday.
A playoff
I'm going to tell you again today. You can choose to ignore me.
Right.
I'm going to tell you when I get back from vacation on Wednesday after Easter. I'm sure I'll tell you Thursday. I'm sure I'll tell you next Friday. The expectation is to get on base, out-hit teams, and get to 90-something wins and roll the dice.
What are you?
And by the way, make a big trade before that.
What are you scared of?
I'm scared of nothing. What are you talking about? Scared.
Why are you scared to have the expectations higher than what you do?
It's the wrong word, Sal.
Okay, what's the right word? Explain it to me.
I've explained it a million times. You're choosing not to listen.
No, I want to know why you are settling or accepting or trying to be understanding of less than the best when it comes to this year's Yankees
because
team.
They might have one of these 7-8, when it's all said and done right now, 7, 8, 9 worst rotations in baseball.
What are the odds to win the division or the over-under number?
But they're not favored to win the division. The Orioles are.
Okay, but you've said a million times.
No, but I know what I said. I understand what I said.
What's their win total? You go over the 93 or whatever.
I told you right around 92, and I went over 92.5. Yes, I think they'll win 93 games, and I'm not sitting here saying they're going to win 100.
Right.
I'll tell you this much. If they're rolling out Pettit and Clemens and El Duque, I would be sitting here with my feet up saying, dude, we're going to kick the crap out of everybody. And if they don't win the World Series, you're fired, you're gone, you suck, and you leave. But look who's pitching. So we just see it differently.
I just don't understand it. I'm the bad guy because
I'm not making you out to be the bad guy.
It's not just you.
It's not me at all.
Well, listeners, whatever.
All right. Well, they don't lump me in with them.
I'm the bad guy because I'm holding the Yankees to the highest of standards, which they should be. I wish that my team had the sack to build a team this year that could go compete for the World Series. They can't. Then why is everybody getting excited about yesterday? Yankee fans are going nuts. In fact, it was celebration like they won the World Series. I mean, I haven't seen anything like it. On opening day, 1 win. Wow, oh my God, look at the Yankees. Juan Soto, this is the greatest thing ever. You have Soto for 1 year. They're all in this year. Go win the World Series. Or go at least get to the World Series. That, to me, would be a success, even if you don't win it. I don't understand why accepting anything else. Now, you could see the season play out, and results may vary, and maybe they lose a heartbreak or whatever. You want to get into the semantics of it? Okay, fine. You could evaluate that. Right now, the goal, the hope, the expectation should be to get to the World Series. What's so wrong with that? I don't understand it.
All right. Oh, boy. Oh, God.
I'm not doing this all day.
Neither am I. I hope not.
Yeah.
I mean, they attacked you early. I don't have a problem. You got to bite back. They attacked you. I had you back a little bit. I think you were fair today, dude.
I mean, come on.
I understand.
What has happened to the Yankee fans that I grew up going to games with, whether it was Subway Series games at Shea?
I'm going to tell you what's happened. I know where you're going. I'm going to tell you what's happened. We have watched Brian Cashman botch roster after roster. So, and I can't speak for the entitled, arrogant Yankee fan. You got to remember, My early Yankee DNA is that of losing.
Right.
Watching Mattingly with no pitching staff, watching Mattingly get hurt, and watching Stump Merrill preside over two of the most painful, pathetic, Met-like seasons of any life. It was just unwatchable.
I remember.
Mike Blowers. I mean, Jesus Christ, the players they were trotting out, they sucked. So I think that it's just more, I'll use the word pragmatic. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, but it's not even April.
Right.
Yeah, I want to win the World Series. If Cole comes back, let's go. Can he throw a pitch?
Well, they had success without him yesterday.
It looked good. It looked good. It was definitely a great start. I'm pumped. 877-337-6666. BT and Sal on the Fan.
We're back.